Hi, good morning, everybody.
The family food was a bit.
Hello. Hi. Hopefully you can all hear me. Good morning.
One by one.
I can see Ruby Edwards on the call. Good morning, Ruby. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, good. Everyone's microphones are working as well, which is good. I can just hear some. Can I just ask everyone's music, please, as well? Because there's a bit of interference on the call. I think that's probably better. Yes, it is. Good, great. Nice to meet you all. Welcome and thank you for joining this call, which is our first official launch of what will become the new business direction. I can see Georgia's on the call as well. Good morning, Georgia. How are you? This call is being recorded, by the way, as well, so I'll try and do a very professional job over the next 30 minutes and talk you through exactly what's happening with business direction. But again, I know there's quite a few people that have asked us to record this so we can share this externally after the call. So yeah, there will be a video recording. It's probably going to be about 30 minutes or so, talking through a little bit of an introduction to who we are, the team behind, the media partner behind business direction. And then myself and Carl, who's on the call, will talk you through plans for this first edition from a content point of view, and we'll share some new designs and some of the advertising options available as well. So let me start by sharing my screen. I'm assuming you can all hear me okay as well. Hopefully you're all seeing something that looks like a slide deck now that says business direction. Carl Holbrook, if you can just give me a quick yes, you can see that?
Yep, I can see it.
Perfect, great. There's people trying to get into the lobby, so we'll let a few people in whilst I'm talking as well. Good, right, let's just quickly kick off then over the next half hour. So officially a welcome from our side from Crosby Associates Media. I should probably start by saying who I am. My name is Nick Fellows. I'm the Managing Director for Crosby Associates Media. Quick background for myself, I've been in the media and publishing industry for nearly 30 years, which makes me feel incredibly old. But I've been in the Crosby Associates Media business since January last year, so 18 months or so here. And also talking on the call today is my colleague, Carl Holbrook. Carl will do your introduction a bit later into the slide deck, if that's okay. But myself and Carl will front the call today. So in terms of what we'll cover, it will be an introduction to Crosby Associates Media, the team behind business direction, and now working in collaboration with the guys, Georgia, who's on the call, at Herefordshire and Worcestershire Chamber of Commerce. That's quite hard to say, that chamber name, it's a lot of words to say. We'll talk you through, as I said, the relaunch of business direction, which will take place, and the first relaunch edition being out early October. Carl will talk you through the content strategy that we've agreed with Georgia and how that is taking shape and what that looks like moving forward. And then we'll share with you a few of the new designs that we've come up with for business direction, also the new website, which is really exciting, and then a few bits and pieces around advertising and marketing and sharing with you effectively our media kit. What we'll do at the end is hold a Q&A. Most of the time people want to talk to the editor, so it'll be questions fired at Cole more so than me, but I'm more than happy to take questions as well. So hopefully that's all good. Let me press on. So officially an introduction to Crosby Associates Media, and I'm assuming most people won't have a clue who we are or what we do. We're not new. We've been around for 28 years. Certainly, as we're self-labelled, at least one of the UK's fastest growing independent media publishers, and we say that with a bit of confidence in terms of revenue growth, the expansion of the portfolio in the last 18 months, how we've evolved the business, the new contracts that we've won. So we're growing at quite a rapid rate. And when we talk percentages, the business grew certainly at a top line revenue perspective by 24% last year. We've already beaten last year's numbers in 2025, so we're very much a growth company and have a very steep curve over the last 5 years of where we're growing. So we're a good, fast-growing independent media publisher. In terms of who we are and what we do, I describe us as a multimedia publisher, and we work effectively in 3 sectors. We work and produce media on behalf of UK Trade Federation, so we work with a number of people such as the Builders Merchant Federation, the National Federation of Builders, the Stone Federation, all these weird and wonderful trade federations, and we produce media on their behalf in print and online and from a content point of view. We also work with, as you would have guessed, with a number of major UK chambers of commerce, and there's some on the bottom of the screen here that you can see. We work with London, we've worked with the London Chamber for a long time. In fact, I'll come back to that. So we work with chambers of commerce, and we also work in the affordable housing sectors. We have a couple of our own brands that we own, a brand called Housing Executive, which is very much top of its game, one of our fastest growing brands, some exciting award events for it, but we work primarily in the affordable and social housing space. So there's those three markets in which we work as media partner or as publishers. Sort of where we've grown the business in the last 18 months is very much launching a number of online media brands. So for example, and this is very much in collaboration with Carl, who's on the call, we've launched a online daily voice for building and construction industry. It's a website called Build News, which has gone incredibly well in the first 4 or 5 months of launch, sort of hitting 100,000 eyeballs a month, which is fantastic for any business launch. We've also launched a couple of new sites where there's gaps in the market, in the UK market, where traditional publishers have pulled away from print media, and we've launched a couple of online brands in towns like Rochdale, which sounds quite random. Rochdale was a good example of a town that had lost its representation with a news outlet in that town. And we've also launched a number of events this year, so things like we've got a brand called Build North Expo, we've had an event in Bolton, one in Leeds, and we've got a Housing Executive Awards in October. And we're also, outside of being a publisher in those sectors, we also work in the digital advertising and digital marketing space. So we also produce things like corporate videos for clients. We also produce an awful lot of e-marketing, and we have this very great use of AI technology that allows us to really find people of interest when we're doing things like e-marketing. So we've been very much the pioneers of using AI in our business for a good 18 months actually. It's been a really good investment for us. So going back to the bit that's really relevant to people on this call, we do hold a number of existing relationships and partnerships with UK chambers. So I've just mentioned London. We've just published last month, they're bi-monthly, we do 6 issues a year. We've just done the 200th edition for London Chamber for the brand called London Business Matters. And we also work with people like Thames Valley, which is not on that screen. We work with Staffordshire. We work with people like North and Western, Lancashire Chamber, Holland Humberside. So we work with all these chambers. So it was really encouraging for us to now be working with Georgia, Sharon, and the rest of the team at Herefordshire and Worcestershire Chamber. We're really looking forward to getting going on this first edition. So before we talk about business direction, I'm just going to quickly talk around one of the recent launches, which is really relevant to what we're going to do with business direction. So we formed a new partnership with Staffordshire Chamber of Commerce earlier this year, and a similar format to business direction with Herefordshire and Worcestershire. This was a relaunch of a brand that had existed for some time. It's called Focus Magazine. They'd stopped the traditional print publication a couple of years ago. It became an online only brand, and they were producing a newsletter directly to chamber members. So when we met with the guys at Staffordshire, they were really excited by the work that we produce for the likes of London and Thames Valley, in a way that what we do slightly differently is really focus on that longer read format. So I'm just sharing a couple of pages from the edition that we've just published for them. So we've done 2 now in 2025, the spring and summer edition. So 3 examples on the screen there. The one on the left hand side is a patron member, which happens to be Port Vale Football Club, who've just been promoted to League One. So again, rather than just do sort of a fairly bland bit, it was very much an article going slightly more in depth as a longer read format with Port Vale Football Club about the work they do in the community. The middle article was with a chamber member, albeit they're quite a new member. They're a small organisation, but it was very much focused on a business startup piece. And really getting that first-hand experience of a business startup, which has got big reputation in that longer read format, Q&A. In fact, that business really produced a really nice piece around their top 10 tips for any business looking to start out, which was really good. And then the right-hand side, we did a 16-page coverage of their business awards, which was held at a similar time to the one that Herefordshire and Worcestershire just held. So that was their 10th anniversary. We did a nice 16-page pull-out with lots of photography and an interview with all the winners. So it's an example of the sort of work we'll be doing moving forward, and quite relevant that we've only just relaunched that a couple of months ago. And we're really happy with it, and more importantly, the Chamber in Staffordshire and their members are really happy with the work that we've done for that relaunch. So let me move on to business direction. As you know, it is a relaunch or the new edition of business direction. So again, a bit like I've just explained, this isn't a new title, as you will know better than I. Business direction has been around for some time. So it's working in partnership with the guys, the team at Hereford and Worcestershire Chamber and its members to really elevate business direction in a slightly different direction. So it's an investment from our side and from the Chamber side, very much in the content and the type of content we're going to be publishing, in its size. So all of our Chamber publications are at least 84 pages in size. I think business direction, correct me George if I'm wrong, was sort of 52 pages previously, so it's very much an investment in content. In terms of where we're at, we tend to follow a similar format editorially. So typically there will be a blend of international UK business news, so very much a traditional business publication from a content point of view. So international UK business content, local business economy, chamber related content, working hard with the members, the patron members and the rest of the membership. So those interview pieces with business people, business owners, profile and chamber members. So very much that sort of theme will run through business direction as we move forward. And again, in a couple of slides time, Carl will talk through in a bit more detail, specifically for issue 1 in October, what that looks like and the angles that we're publishing in issue 1. I've mentioned the 84-page minimum edition. So we will be out 2 editions in 2025. The first edition will be out in October. And I think it's October the 2nd, October 3rd, but it's pre the Business Expo event, which is taking place, again, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the 9th of October that's taking place in Worcester. So we'll be out and at that event, in fact, some of our team will be there giving issues out in October, and then we're out again in December. So it's an October-November edition and a December/January edition, so 2 editions this side of Christmas. And then as we move into 2026, I've put 2025, so that's a mistake, but as we go up to 2026, will be a quarterly format, spring, summer, autumn, winter, and typically, and those dates need to be agreed, but we will be out March, June, October, and then again December for next year. So it will be a 4 edition, a seasonal business direction from 2026, not 25. And in terms of delivery method and sort of how we get the magazine out to you guys and to the wider community, all chamber members will receive a mailed copy, so very much a brand to hand. So we'll take some guidance on mailing list from the guys at the chamber, and copies will go directly into the hands of chamber members. And then there will be a fairly substantial bulk copy delivery, which the chamber will use for things like the business network events and the expo and all the other events and network events they hold over a quarterly period. So there'll be plenty of copies out there in print. And as I just said, very much from our side, it's a big investment in content and content quality. And I've used that last line as its introduction to Carl Holbrook, who will take over, and I'll stop for a breath. So over to you, Carl, for your introduction.
He's really setting me up for failure, I think, there, isn't
Well,
he?
it's the story of my life, but there you go.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Carl Holbrook. Me and Nick have worked together for a long time, actually. He gave me my first editorship from too long ago now, but I've led editorial teams across the UK, in the US even, as regional newspaper and national newspaper editor at the Daily Mirror, Daily Express, Bolton News, where Nick hired me many moons ago. And now I run a company in the Northwest, doing various projects, but working very closely with Crosby on several projects, editorial development projects, some of these new launches that Nick already talked about, but also key among those is working on leading the editorial strategy of many of these chamber mags. And it's a real pleasure to get involved in this one. Already the conversation with Georgia and some of the people that Georgia's put up for us to speak to for this first edition have been really good. So I think, as Nick's already said in some depth, the idea here is really to grow, the magazine, make it a really good business magazine proposition, as good as it can be, with a real emphasis on depth, big interviews, and tethering each magazine to some key theme. So there'll be lots of general news as well, but really kind of honing in on 3 themes, like you saw with the Staffordshire magazine. There was three or four key things that we explored in that magazine, which was 96 pages. This first edition For business direction, we've already set on 3, and if there's any other suggestions, by the way, they're more than welcome. But we set on 3 main themes they're going to kind of try and tease out in this first edition. One is going for growth in an uncertain world. So we all know there is, huge challenges businesses face that are pretty unique to this year, with Donald Trump's tariffs and national insurance tax rises, rise of AI, all these things. So we're going to look at what those challenges are, but then also try and speak to several businesses in members and in the region about how you navigate those things from different perspectives, from a recruitment perspective, from a marketing perspective. We've got one of those people that we've spoken to already on the call, from an AI perspective, whatever it may be, a few different experts that can speak to those challenges and how other businesses can navigate them. Another theme that we've got for this one is women in business. That's set around the Women's Business Forum that I think is later this month or early next month. And that's looking to surface some stories of really inspirational female entrepreneurs and business leaders in the region, about how they've broken glass ceilings again as a way of hopefully inspiring other people to maybe follow similar routes. And then thirdly, for this one, we're looking at connectivity. So we've already got an exclusive interview with the CEO of First Rail, who have a bid in. I'm not sure how many people know. It's kind of out, but not massively out. There's a new bid to open new train services from Hereford to Paddington, which will double the number of direct trains from the region. So we've got an exclusive interview with the CEO behind that bid. So again, we'll be looking at what the impact of that kind of bid could have in different ways beyond just that bid. So hopefully that just gives a little bit of a taste of what we're trying to do, which is, as Nick said, add as much depth and authority as we can, explore some big themes per issue, as well as your more general news that's happening over the course of that quarter, and it be a really positive mouthpiece for the business community, but with actionable kind of insights from experts about how to navigate those themes that we're exploring in that particular issue.
Just to go back a slide, Carl, just in terms of how people may want to contact you, you've put some of your details on there. And again, this call's being recorded, so we can share this, but you've got your contact details, your direct details on there as well.
Yeah, so please, we also don't want to make, we're new to the area. So you guys are the experts. You guys know what's going on way more than we do. Get in touch. Let us know what we should be covering. Let us know what the big issues are. Let us know who we should be celebrating, what we should be flying the flag for. And then hopefully what our expertise is then taking those insights and figuring out a way of maybe kind of connecting them up into bigger things as well as we can.
Fab. Great. Thank you, Carl. Again, we'll do any questions at the end. So there may be some questions around some of the content themes that Carl's just walked through. But again, let's tackle that at the end of the presentation. Great. Thank you, Carl. Let me just share with you some of the initial designs that have been signed off now. So what business direction will look like. So again, it's not the front cover that we're going with for October, but it's an example of what the front cover would look like. So it's very much following the brand guidelines for the chamber that we worked with, so the colour schemes and the type of page designs and templates that we're working with. So that's a taste, a flavour of what the new redesigned publication will look like, putting content to one side, but from an aesthetic design point of view, that's a good idea of what business direction will look like from relaunch. And again, just to stress the deadlines, the first edition of the relaunch is the 3rd of October. I was guessing a bit before, I forgot it was on the slide, it was the 3rd of October. So it will be out in time for the Herefordshire and Worcestershire Business Expo, which is on the 9th of October. And again, some of the team from Crosby Associates Media will be there at the Business Expo, and we'll have copies in hand for those that may not receive a copy once we're out. It seems a long time away, but it isn't actually. So the copy and ad booking deadline for that first edition is the 18th of September. So with the disruption of a bank holiday next week and people still being away, actually the 18th of September is not that far away. So I can feel Carl's tension through the video call here of lots of content to write in the next 3 weeks. and also lots of people we need to talk to around getting involved back in this first edition, and particularly from an advertising point of view, getting your brand into this first edition launch, which is going to have a bit of weight and a bit of status behind it as this first relaunched edition. So 18th of September, not that far away to get involved. Also sharing, so the bit that we're doing slightly, apart from the formats, the investment in content and the type of content, what will be a first, I think as well, is it's a launch of a dedicated website for business direction. So there's always been an online page turning edition that's existed of the magazine on the Chamber website, but we're now giving business direction its own voice, its own identity, its own domain outside of that page turning edition that will still be on the Chamber website, but given a little bit more weight to business direction. So again, these are really early designs, and if anything, they're following a template of what we do for other chambers. So again, it's only a mock-up. We're not going to have the Hulk, which looks like he's got his head in the back of an ambulance in Blackpool, which is quite random, but again, that's just a mock-up and design that we've got for a website. So the reason for having a website, again, we're giving more audience and more reach to the brand business direction. If we look at our other chamber websites, so London Business Matters, which is the brand for the London Chamber, is reaching 20 to 30,000 eyeballs a month through the magazine dedicated website. So it's a whole new opening up of audience and reach for the brand business direction. And when you're working in quarterly publishing cycles as well, having a dedicated website really allows us to have that time-sensitive content to be placed on a website that, again, we may not always be able to accommodate in a print edition or indeed on the Chamber website. So it's given far more expansion to content, to reach, to amplifying voice and business content through a dedicated website. We'll also have on the website archive and access to archive editions of business direction. Obviously, as we grow and publish more copies, there will be back copies on there to refer to, and also lots of reference to things like local events and chamber networking events. So anything that's date sensitive that we can't satisfy in print, we can satisfy through a dedicated branded website. Lots of signposting on the website, by the way, as well, that will point you back to the main Herefordshire and Worcestershire Chamber websites. There'll be things like, to join the Chamber, click here. There'll be a couple of navigation points on the website that will directly take you to the Chamber website. So again, it's very much there to support and drive, additionally drive traffic to the Chamber's main website. So really excited about a new website. We'll have that. That will go live, by the way, as we launch edition 1. So edition 1 comes out in print. We go live at that point with the new business direction website. A few more slides to go, so I'm going to go into a little bit into commercial mode. Apologies, but again, this is how we fund these things. So I'm just sharing a copy of a media pack that some of you probably have already seen. On that note, actually, there's been really good engagement thus far from the Herefordshire and Worcestershire market in terms of people getting behind and booking advertising campaigns with our team here. Typically, it's not just chamber members that want to advertise in a chamber publication. From experience, probably 50% of the advertising or the advertisers that we attract are non-members who are looking to directly market, promote their products, their services directly to business decision makers, entrepreneurs in the Herefordshire, Worcestershire market. So expect to be some non-members in there who directly want to target you guys as chamber members. So that's quite common to see that. We're sharing things on the right hand side about sort of page rates and half page rates, which are very much in line with the previous publisher and the media kits and rate cards that the Chamber held for business direction. I guess the bit we're doing extra here is the investment in content, a bigger, better publication, the investment in a website. So it's a little bit more expensive, but staying true to the rates that were in place previously with the former publisher. Just to walk through some of the digital advertising stuff, there's nothing that's out of the ordinary. So again, I'm sharing the live website for London Business Matters. So typically, you'll see on the left-hand side, we'll host the latest print edition, and in the top navigation where it says magazines, you'll have, in that example, the last few years, several years worth of former copies to go and look at. But from an advertising point of view, that ad that says New Bridge Foreign Exchange, I think that says at the top underneath the masthead, is what you call a branded digital display ad, very much signposting, publicising that business, but as a fixed tenancy static advert that sits on that Chambers, in this example, that Chambers website. And again, that's there as brand awareness and is to drive traffic through to that company's own website as a click and a hyperlink through to their website. So an opportunity to place branded advertising on the new business direction website. And also there's a forum there to place and pay for what we call sponsored content or native advertising. It's effectively paid press releases that may not make the cut necessarily, but branded and badged slightly differently as a paid bit of sponsored content or as a paid for article. So a brand new shiny website, but a completely different audience to the print publication. It will be bigger than the print readership because it just will be from experience. So it's a chance to reach and market your business, not just to Chamber members, but to that wider business community. Anybody who's interested in business in that region, then great, we have a dedicated website for that. We also have on the website something we call partner profiles, and there's an example of a partner profile there for a company called Pitch Factory. I think again that's in London, I think. But essentially it gives Chamber members primarily a chance to talk a little bit about who they are and what they do. So it's very much almost a one-page mini website. As per the example there, there's a bit of narrative about who they are, what they do. There'll be client testimonials on there. There'll be embedded video in that profile, an advert that links through to the client's website, and there's a bit of a description on the right-hand side exactly what you get for that investment. But it's very much 12 months worth of brand advertising and used as a SEO support and to drive people to the client's website. So not overly expensive, it's about £60 a month, something like that. I'm sure my sales team will correct me on that, but it's about £60, £70 per month, something like that ballpark, to have that 12-month long-term permanent presence on the business direction website. Last few slides from me, I think. So, and finally, because we've got all these extra bits going on, we have a print edition, we have a website, we have partner profiles. I'm just sort of sharing on the screen, and yes, I'm sharing price points, what we call mixed media ad packages. And again, we do this with all the chambers that we work with. It allows local businesses a chance to really embed and get behind the publication, but to benefit primarily from all those assets that we have in print and online and that wider audience and circle of investment that we'll see. So very much those packages are weighted to either package one is typically a single print edition with a couple of months online. Package two is very much a 6-month investment. So it's get behind what will be 2 print editions in 6 months, but 12 months presence with the partner profile, a couple of articles and 6 months on the website. Package 3 and 4 is very much I'm in for the 12-month period, all print editions for a year, 4 lots of online articles, 12 months branding on the website, a 12-month partner profile. Package 4 is the same, but you also get, and we will make for you, a promotional video. So we'll come to your premises, do a very professional job of filming your business in a 30 to 60 second video, and we'll hand over in a nice shiny box a video for you to use on your website and with edits for social media. So package 4 is everything to do with business direction, but with that personal video thrown into the mix as well. So really good value. And again, if you haven't checked out Crosby Associates Media on our website, a quick plug, you'll see all the things that we offer on there, and it's very much a section on video, lots of examples of our work. And I think to finish on that point, if this works, because I'm not sure it will, because I haven't tried it yet, but it's it should work now. We've just got a quick 30-second video that demonstrates and highlights the work that we do for our clients when we produce videos. It's a video show reel with live examples of some of our work, if it works. Hopefully that worked. I don't know if you could hear that or see that.
Could see it, but couldn't hear it.
Ah, right. Apologies. There is a sound track behind it. Maybe we didn't have that synced up. But again, we'll share the slide deck and have a look at that. But you can see visually an idea at least of the videos we produce. So I think that's it. I think we're pretty much on time. If I've done my job, I have to the minute, exactly 30 minutes. So we'll do a quick Q&A for you guys to ask myself and Cole any questions about business direction, the content for edition 1, or how you guys can get involved. Then please feel free to ask some questions. I'll stop sharing the slide deck so we can see you. But yeah, over to you. Please ask some questions.
I might as well ask one. Set the ball running for you. What's the circulation likely to be? And it might be George who wants to pick up that one for you, but obviously they've got the chamber members. George, is that you, or I don't know whether that's been discussed.
Sorry, John. I think I missed the first part of the question. You broke up. Can you just repeat the question, John? Apologies.
It was really about the circulation numbers, really.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can answer that.
That wasn't in the slides, and I know other people will ask it. I might have a good idea already if I was a betting person, but I think that will come across later.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I can tell you. So it's a print run of 2,500 physical print copies per issue. I can see George is nodding, so I've got that right. So 2,500 physical print copies. So every chamber member, as I said, will be mailed a copy. The remaining, which could be anything between 1,000 plus copies, will be made available. That will be a bulk copy delivery to the chamber offices. As I said, those guys will use those copies for events, networking in that 3-month period before the next issue. We'll be pretty active as well, out and about, and we'll make sure that we'll have copies. So again, we have a stand at the Business Expo in October. So again, I think one or two of my team were on the call. I think Richard's on the call. That we'll be there in October to talk to people and give copies out as well. So yeah, very much direct to chamber members, but also in circulation to the wider business community. And I think that's why also, John, two other things that we can do to grow is secondly the website, which is why that's really important, that we can reach and get the publication to more people. That's the second point. And thirdly, what we will do is also send a digital link to the page turn-in edition. Again, through our pretty smart AI technology, we can go and find a whole heap of businesses in Herefordshire and Worcestershire, and we can send directly through e-marketing a link to that first edition. Again, we've done that with other chambers, so yeah, we're pretty confident about. I mean, if I take London, for example, maybe that's not the best because it's the 20 to 30,000 eyeballs every month on the website. Their print runs 6,000 because they're a bit bigger, and then we send it out to 5 to 10,000 people through e-marketing every edition as well. So actually, the reach and pull's pretty important, and we do a lot of that as well to drive traffic to the website. So,
and just on that, that's quite leads me into another question, really. You mentioned the London one. If we've got a digital version, there's no reason why these can't be shared by chambers, because obviously Hereford and Worcestershire businesses work a lot with people in London and elsewhere. So I think that's key, is to getting the message around how, and I think we can do that with the digital. It was just a thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's getting your name out there, isn't it? So it starts with the chamber immediately, but then spread the word.
Absolutely. I think because we work across with other chambers as well, we see, certainly from an advertising point of view, if you're a service that offers, I don't know, cyber security, you can be based anywhere. You can be based anywhere in the UK. So we see an awful lot of regional businesses want to advertise in other chamber markets. So London has quite an attractive pull for people in Lancashire, less so vice versa, but yeah, we see quite a lot of that people wanting to be cross-section. So going back to what I said in the presentation, I would expect probably half the advertising base to be non-members, and some may be non-Herefordshire and Worcestershire businesses. I don't think there'll be many of them, but as time goes on, potentially there would be.
Yeah.
Just to add to that, sorry, really quickly, John. One piece of work that I'm kind of doing at the moment is working closely with the BCC, so the British Chambers of Commerce. We've got kind of a little marketing networking group going on, and we're really keen to ensure that we're sharing each other's content as well, regardless of whether it's Staffordshire Chamber or London or Manchester, etc. So we've got kind of a BCC little marketing group, and we're really keen to make sure that we're sharing our members' content, basically.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. And I know, Rachel, you rang me yesterday, but I didn't pick up the phone call. I will catch up with you because I know I've got an announcement that I can't divulge until the September the 9th. I've got a new startup type business, so it's things like that that I can talk to you about.
Right. Speak to you soon then.
Sure.
Thank you, John. Vicky, you've politely put your hand up. Over to you, Vicky.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify what content patron members get as part of their partnership with the Chamber.
I think, George, you're probably best placed to answer that, I think.
Yeah, I can answer that one. So Vicky, as patron member, obviously you guys get guaranteed inclusion in each edition of Business Direction magazine. So that's your kind of your 250 word article that you obviously have submitted for previous editions. So you would submit that one as normal to myself, either by the website form or sending it to marketing at HW Chamber. So that kind of remains the same. However, one thing that's slightly different this time for patron members, obviously that article's guaranteed inclusion, but the slightly different aspect this time is Nick and Carl are actually going to be working really closely with our patron members to ensure that they have an interview piece once a year. So once out of those kind of 3/4 magazines, you'll be featured in a large kind of big interview piece. So that's the kind of difference between the old editions and the new editions. So you're essentially getting an additional, I think, did we agree it was a double page, Nick, for the patron interviews?
Yeah, I think we gave the example of Staffordshire earlier. So
Yeah.
rather than put the onus on you guys to come up with a content theme and provide stuff, that we will work with you on a schedule. So in that example, we work with 3 or 4 Staffordshire Chamber members per issue, and it's that longer read interview format that's typically over 2 or 3 pages. So I think the Port Vale one we shared was 2 or 3 pages, and whatever, I can't remember the other ones, I think JCB and others, but yeah, Carl and I will, and also Carl and me will work with patron members particularly to, work with you on finding really good angles of business related content.
Probably worth mentioning as well that when we have these different themes, we won't just be locked to, such a patron was in last edition, so we're not going to be featured. If that business is relevant for that theme and they have a good story to tell to that subject or good analysis to offer other people, then we'd be stupid not to use that again. So, we want to work with you all really to just get the best stories out. But so those things that George has just described there are kind of minimums, really.
Great, thank you.
I guess the other thing I kind of wanted to add on the back of that is, even if you guys, and this is all members now, all membership levels, even if you guys don't feel that you fit with one of those anchor themes, so if you take the themes from the upcoming edition, so growth, business, women in business, connectivity, for example, if you guys have got a really great news story that doesn't really fit with one of those themes, you can still submit your article as you normally would. So your 250 word article, again, that would come to myself via the form on the website or to marketing at. Still feel free to send those across, whether it's good news, whether you've won an award or you're collaborating with another member, for example. So still please submit your articles, even if they don't necessarily fall into one of those themes.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, absolutely right. No, the themes are important, but we want a good balance, a mix of business content relative to that marketplace. There'll be other stuff in there that's not always hyper local, but yeah, we want that good blend of good local news. I'll just add at that point, look, Carl is one guy, and we're a pretty busy business here. So whereas patron members, we're going to be working a lot harder with you. We can't do that for all members, unfortunately. I'm going to give a slight plug here to Ruby Edwards, who I can see is on the call as well. So Ruby will be more than happy to work with any members, I guess, in terms of PR content, and that's what Ruby does in her business. So yeah, if you don't know Ruby Edwards, then Ruby's a good person to liaise with, and she can help you and work with you to produce content and PR for business direction, and I'm sure other stuff. I'm talking on behalf of Ruby. Ruby, if you want to add anything else to that, you'll give me a thumbs up.
Just trying to unmute myself. Yeah, thanks for the shout out. I'm sure that's what I do on an hourly, daily and project rate. So yeah, I'm around, I'm here.
Yeah,
Thank
good.
you.
And really recommend that people talk to Ruby as well. Good. Any other questions? So I can actually see you all here on the screen as well, so that's really putting pressure on you to come up with a question to ask me now. Any questions for Carl? The more difficult.
Carl busy, that's all.
Well, the more difficult question, the better for Carl. So come up with something really difficult for him. We'll make him really happy.
Don't fall for it. He's the editor.
No other questions? Doesn't have to be questions. Fab. Okay. Thank you very much for you all joining the call. And there was actually loads of people that registered to attend that couldn't attend today. So again, we'll share a copy of this video. And if George is going to be really kind to me, she'll also share this video and make it available to chamber members so they can have a quick summary of what we've discussed today, and equally share contents and themes for business direction moving forward. Fab. Good to see you all. Have a great day, and I'm sure we'll catch up and speak to you all soon.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
Nick. See you all. Bye.
Bye.